Hi guys, today we're going to talk about function notation. So here's the function notation. F of x equals 3x minus 8. Maybe you've never seen f of x, but that is same as, like, for example, when we, last year you guys learned about like y equals 3x minus 8. And then you had to come up with like t-table, t-chart for like x and y values, right? That's exactly same thing, but instead of y, we're using this function notation f of x, and we call that f of x or function of x, okay? So function notation uses f of x to represent the output, which is y value, and we call that range, okay? Now, then x inside the parentheses represents the input. Inside the parentheses, input represents the domain. Okay? So if we go over the vocabulary real quick, x and y, x is input and y is the output. X is the domain and y is the range. Now, for example, if you're given f of x equals 2x plus 5 and you're told to find f of 2, that means substitute 2 in for x. So again, if you look at this f of x, x is inside the parentheses. So anytime you're given a number for inside, you need to replace for x. So f of 6. 6 is inside the parentheses. That means 6 is the x value. So all you need to do is f of 6 equals 2, and then instead of 6, you're going to plug it in. Instead of x, you're going to plug in 6 plus 5. And we're just simplifying that. 2 times 6, which is 12, plus 5, which is 17. So simple. So anytime, again, if you're given a number inside the parentheses, that's the input, which is the x value. So you just replace with the x. Let's try the next one. So f of negative 2. So f of negative 2 is 2 times, we have the equation right here. So 2 times, instead of x, we're going to plug in negative 2 plus 5. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4 plus 5, which is 1. So f of negative 2 equals 1. F of 6 was 17. What that means is when x is negative 2, y value is 1. That's the output. If the x value is 6, that means y value is 17. Does that make sense to you? Okay? So again, f of 2 means that x is 2 and we need to find our f of x, which is the output. Is that right? So anytime you're given a number inside the parentheses, that means it's the x value. This time x is 2. Now, then we're doing something opposite of that. So if you're given f of x equals 7, oh, now 7 is not the number inside the parentheses. This number is outside the parentheses. What does that mean? That means this is the output. 7 is the output number, which is y value. And we do not know what x value is. That's what we need to figure out. Okay? So, find the x value for the following. F of x equals 3x plus 2. And f of x equals 14. Again, that 14 is not inside the parentheses. This is outside the parentheses. That means that is the output. And we are trying to figure out what x equals. So, we do know the output for this, which is 14, equals, we don't know the x value, so we're going to just write 3x plus 2. Because we're trying to figure out what x value is. Now, can we solve the equation then? We're solving for x. So you subtract 2 from both sides. 12 equals 3x. X is equal to 4. So you're dividing by 3. Easy. All right. Let's take a look at the next one. F of x equals negative 4. Is negative 4 x value or y value? That's y value because it's not inside the parentheses. This is outside. So we do know this is y value. We do not know the x value. So we can just simply plug it in. Negative 4 is the y value. That's the output. So we got to put negative 4 equals, okay, and then 3x plus 2. And can we solve the equation? Pause the video. Now solve the equation. Okay, so answer to the number 6 question is negative 2. That means when x is negative 2, y is negative 4. Okay, so let's recap one more time. If the number inside of parentheses is given, that means that's the input, that's the x value. So we substitute for x. If the number outside of parentheses is given, that means that's the output. So we replace that with y, which is equal to, that's the output. Easy enough? Okay. Now, when f of x is 0, that means y value is 0, and this is called finding the 0 of a function. And we'll talk more about that, so just remember that 0 of a function is when the output is 0. And we'll do more of those when we get to the next section of the unit. Okay? Turn to the next page. Now, if you look at the back page, we're asked to find the f of negative 2, f of 0, f of 1. But the difference is we do not have the equation. This time we do have a graph or we have a table. But we're using the same method. So what is f of negative 2? Take a look at it. This negative 2 is inside the parentheses. What does that mean? Is negative 2 the x value or y value? Since it's inside the parentheses, that's the input, and that's the x value. Remember? So that means f of negative 2 means x is negative 2. Is that right? So let's take a look at the x of negative 2. This is the x-axis and this is the y-axis. So what we need to do is need to go to x of negative 2 right here. And where is the graph on the y value? This is the graph, and x is negative 2, so we have to look at the x of negative 2. And in order to find the y value for that, we have to go all the way up. Oh, there is the point right there. So when x is negative 2, what was the y value for this point? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Isn't that right? When x is negative 2, y is 8. Therefore, f of negative 2 is 8. Makes sense. So all you need to do is, if of f of 0, again, 0 is inside a parentheses, so that's going to be the x value. We're trying to find the y value for that. Look. So look at the graph again. X is 0. This is the x-axis. So this is 0. Where is the y value? Right here. So you can come up with order pair for that, which is 0, comma, negative 0, comma, what? 4. Because 0 and then 4, correct? So f of 0 is 4. Now, pause the video. Why don't you try f of 1? Did I ring it f of 1 equals 2? Because when x is 1, y value is 2 on this graph. Okay? Now, then let's take a look at the table. You know what table is even easier. What is g of negative 2? So, again, negative 2 is inside the parentheses. That means that's the x value. So all you need to do is go to x value of negative 2. Where is that? X is negative 2. Then what is the y value for that? 8. Okay? Why don't you try B and C? Now pause the video. Okay? So g of 0 is 4 and g of 1 is 2. Okay, so you have to really remember that x versus y. X is the input, y is the output, x is the domain, and y is the range. You have to really remember all these vocab. Okay? Then let's take a look at the next question. What is the range of function f of x equals 2x plus 7 when domain is 2, 3, and 4? So this time we're not given one domain. We're given 3. What is the domain? What's another word for domain? Remember, domain was x value. That means x value is 2, 3, and 4. Do you guys remember what you did? That means we need to figure out when x is 2, what is y value? When x is 3, what is y value? When x is 4, what is y value? That's what you need to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually figure out f of 2. Okay, f of 3. And then f of 4. All you need to do is replace x with 2. So 2 times 2 plus 7. 2 times 3 plus 7. 2 times 4 plus 7. Is that right? All I did was I replaced this x value with 2, 3, and 4. Now you can figure out the rest. Go ahead and figure it out. Pause the video. Okay, so f of 2 was 11, f of 3 was 13, f of 4 was 15. Now, once you get all the y values, 11, 13, 15, since it's asking for the range of you have to figure out the numbers all together. So your answer needs to be in step builder notation. So it's going to be squiggly parentheses. 11, 13, and 15. Okay? Easy enough, right? Again, let's try the next one. Domain is 4, 8, 12. So domain is x value. So you need to figure out the y value. We don't know that. So go ahead and figure it out. So this time we need to figure out f of 4, f of 8, f of 12. Please pause the video. Now finish it up. Okay? So let's check the answer. I end up with -9, -6, -3. Now, take a look at number 5. This time, it's asking something else. It says, what is domain when the range is -9, 3, and 15? What is range? Range was y value. Domain was x value. So this time they're asking for the domain when y is given. What do I need to do? Do you remember? When y value is given and we're looking for x value, you just need to set it equal to that value. So we don't know what x value is, so -6x plus 3 is equal to what? Output is -9. -6x plus 3, output was 3. I'm just using these three numbers. And -6x plus 3 equals 15. Now, can we solve that equation? Okay, go ahead and pause the video, solve the equation. Okay, so the answer was 2, 0, -2. Those three numbers are the domain. Okay, number 6, we're going to actually do that in class, all right? So I hope you learned a lot today, and I will do more practice in class. Have a good day. Bye.